Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Also, this is the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. This is the Raw edition for the 10th of October 2022. Basically, Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, and X-Pac are in gorilla position asking each other if they're ready. Triple H asks if they're ready. The camera pans to Hunter, who's wearing the shirt with a headset on. Hunter told them to have fun and be careful out there because they can't do what they used to do. He also warned them not to swear too much. And then some of the swears are censored. Michaels asked who left the four, roosters. They cut 4 toy roosters out, and Michaels, Road Dogg, and X-Pac leave, so I guess the reunion for that is later. Corey Graves welcomes us to Raw, introduces the new play-by-play announcer Kevin Patrick. They run down Raw, they're going to relive some things. Bloodline comes out, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline enter, and Reigns said, "You've always got to look ahead when you're the greatest of all time." His dad always taught him to be looking ahead, and he said to be the loudest in the room when you can, and the weakest, and that the loudest in the room is always the weakest in the room. Sami Zayn suddenly looks concerned at this. Zayn interrupts, and the crowd cheered for him. Zayn wants to handle Jay on Reigns' behalf. Reigns then chuckles and says he really isn't honorary Uce. Reigns then gladly allowed this to continue. Zayn then spoke to Jay and does his best to ignore him. Zayn then told Jay his behavior of late has been very un-Ucy, which the crowd chants Ucy at him, and Jimmy is amused by this. Zayn gets the crowd to chant for Jimmy and Solo Sikoa. Jimmy then was having fun with it, but Sikoa remains relatively stoic. Zayn then tells Jay he needs to be cool like the rest of them. Jay then looks through Zayn and asks Reigns if he's ribbing him. With this, Reigns basically blows him off, and there we go. Matt Riddle interrupts. Riddle then lets it be known that he beat Seth Rollins in the fight pit. He said he knows that there's the stipulation and he couldn't fight Reigns again for the title, but this arrangement for the title match, come on, bro, he says. The crowd is into it, and Reigns said no. Riddle then says maybe another member of the Bloodline should fight him. The crowd chants for Sami. Jay tells him he should do it, and then they get into an argument. Extreme Rules recap video. They didn't show the Wyatt return, however. Johnny Gargano defeats Austin Theory 850. Not a bad match, but it's here. Theory controls through the break early, suplexing Gargano on the apron. Theory then applies the Gargano escape, but Gargano escapes and applies his own maneuver. Theory escapes that and hits a super kick. Gargano then comes off with his own super kick, so basically it's a can you top this approach. Anyway, the suicide dive, DDT, and the one final beat pinfall win for Gargano. Not necessarily sure that I agree with Theory dropping from importance this quickly, but it is what it is. And with Vince no longer being in power, maybe that's behind it. Rey Mysterio defeats Chad Gable with Otis 747. Why is Otis still employed? Rey and Gable, it was not meant to be a standout match, but they did good with what they had. Rey takes control early. Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio enter ahead of the commercial. Ripley then wears a Beth armband as if Beth Phoenix was somehow no longer with us, or somehow a zombie or something. Anyway, Rey then goes for a dive, which caught by Otis, but Rey slips away and drives him into the ring post. Rey then gives Gable 619 springboard splash for the pinfall win. After the match, Dominic goes to hit Rey. Rey fights off the rest of the Judgment Day. Rey goes for 619 on Damian Priest, but Dominic clotheslines his own father. Dom again implores Rey to hit him. Rey refuses, and they go to break. We go into the second hour. They show a video of Rey crying on the apron as his son looks on. Judgment Day segment, they brag about Finn Balor's win over Edge at Extreme Rules. Balor says he's angry and he's on parade and he wants to be the leader, and then he got Edge to say, I quit. Balor wants to remind us how this happened, so they put on a very long video package. The video packages have got to go. I mean, I understand that not everyone watches Raw every week. I get that. But at the same time, if your entertainment value is so reliant on people not watching your show, that says a lot about how you feel about your own product. Balor then moves on to AJ Styles, but doesn't speak until Styles interrupts. Styles then couldn't believe his friendship coming down. Balor is about to speak, but Styles tells him he wasn't there to argue. Styles said Balor was right. Everything he needed was right in front of him. He knew what he needed were friends and family. Styles then gets a knee in front of Balor before they hugged. Balor is thrilled. Styles tells him, I wasn't talking about you. And Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows enter. They join Styles' crowd is happy with this. I've never seen much in Anderson and Gallows, to be honest, and them coming back. While it's a good, I don't know. I guess it's a good thing for them, but I don't think that this is really a money thing. Anyway, Gallows punches Dominic, and everybody brawls. The crowd mixing seemed a bit off in this. Byron Saxton has a sit-down interview with Damage Control. He asks Bayley a question, but Dakota Kai answers on her behalf. And Kai tells Saxton that she hit rock bottom before Bayley lifted her up. Io Sky said something in Kai's ear. Kai then said she'd do anything for Bayley and she would get the gold she deserved. Bayley said she would kick Candice LeRae's tail later on tonight. Reigns, Heyman, and Sikoa are all about to leave the arena before Jay approaches. Reigns then begins saying that he wants to discuss something. Jay seems annoyed with all of this. He wants to enjoy New York, so basically he seems pushed to the side. Candice LeRae defeats Bayley in 6 minutes, 8 seconds. Simple enough match. Goes through the break. Candice LeRae gets a win with a roll-up out of nowhere. Seems more like a Hunter project and actually an insult to Bayley since she's just coming back. She should be running things over at this point. Candice could use the win, but also not necessarily sure that Bayley losing is what's needed for the brand. Kai and Sky run out and attack LeRae afterwards. Bianca Belair runs out and makes the numbers game too much. Damage Control takes over anyway. Maurice gives Miz a birthday gift, and it's a baseball bat. Miz's birthday party comes up next. Miz is excited upon realizing his baseball bat signed by the best home run hitter in baseball, Jose Ramirez, not Aaron Judge. The table's set and grabs Maurice. Maurice then tells him to grab one. He lifts the table, and Dexter Loomis's head pops out of the table. This is just stupid. It's a waste of time. Miz put the gift box over Loomis's head again, and away we go. Loomis then tries to choke out Miz, but Miz escapes, accidentally pushing Maurice into the cake, and it just feels like filler. Michaels, Road Dogg, and X-Pac hype up to enhancement talents in the back before being approached by Miz and Maurice, and they complained about Loomis. Road Dogg suggested that Miz face Loomis next week, and if he loses, Loomis would get his, accoutrements. Miz accepts. Anyway, 1-on-2 handicap match with MVP defeating 2 enhancement talents, 1 minute 18 seconds. Almost beats 2 guys, lays them out afterwards with tree slams, as to be expected. They replay Bray Wyatt's return segment at the top of the 3rd hour, so I guess that's why they held off on doing it earlier. Bobby Lashley enters. Lashley reminds us that he beat Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. He's ready for Rollins. Calls him out next. Brock Lesnar returns. Lesnar enters instead of Rollins. Lesnar wore blue jeans and a jean jacket. Lesnar is in a good mood and seemed happy to see Lashley. Lashley gave him consecutive he gave Lashley consecutive F5s. Crowd chants welcome back to Lesnar. Seth Rollins enters, and the officials check on Lashley because Lashley's been put in a coma before letting go. Lesnar puts the cowboy hat back on and leaves. So Lashley and Lesnar is where we're going in the not too distant future. Seth Rollins defeats Bobby Lashley to win the United States title in 2:30. Lashley goes for a spear immediately, but Rollins counters into a pedigree for near fall. Rollins then follows up with a frog splash for near fall. Lashley hits a spear, but's too hurt to capitalize on it. Rollins then hits a series of strikes and a stomp for the pinfall win. Celebrates with the belt, and maybe he gets a push renewed since he's a Hunter guy. Saxton then approaches Lashley for an interview after the break. Lashley's angry and challenges Lesnar to show up to Raw next week to show that he's nothing. Bray Wyatt video, so they're done teasing stuff. He's going to be on SmackDown as well on Friday. Then we go to Matt Riddle defeating Sami Zayn with the Usos 16-15. After 10 minutes and a break, Jay tries to get involved, but Zayn tells him not to. They wrestle back and forth. Up until the break, Riddle hits the RKO for the pinfall. Jay prevented Jimmy from getting involved moments before this, so there's dissension in the Usos, dissension in the Bloodline. Riddle is excited that DX is there. DX anniversary celebration. Road Dogg does the usual intro, and he refers to them as Geriatric X. Triple H wondered who was with them 25 years ago when they started in a significant position of the crowd applauded them. Hunter and Michaels do the usual stuff, and he says this is not going to be a thing if they're doing it in 25 years. And this closes the show. Honestly, truthfully, a very flat show, to be honest, but at least they're trying. And it's the return of, I guess, an attempt to make Raw seem important, but it doesn't always work. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.